The night before Thanksgiving, 1971, a man in a dark suit boarded a plane and vanished into legend. He wasn't loud. He wasn't frantic. He didn't even look dangerous. But within hours, he would hijack an aircraft, collect $200,000 in cash, and leap into the freezing night sky, never to be seen again. No body. No confirmed identity. No arrest. Just a name that might not even be real. D.B. Cooper. And more than 50 years later, the question still lingers in the shadows: did he survive? Or did he disappear forever into the wilderness below? The deep storytelling, it began on November 24, 1971, at Portland International Airport. A middle-aged man approached the ticket counter and bought a one-way ticket to Seattle. He paid in cash. No luggage. No hesitation. He introduced himself as Dan Cooper. Witnesses would later describe him as calm, polite, and almost forgettable. He wore a black tie, white shirt, and a raincoat. The kind of man you'd pass in an airport and never think twice about. He boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a short trip that should have lasted less than an hour. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. At first, she assumed it was just another businessman slipping her his phone number. She didn't even open it. That's when he leaned closer and said quietly, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside the note were simple, chilling demands. $200,000 in cash. 4 parachutes. And a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. No sudden movements. No tricks. He opened his briefcase just enough for her to glimpse what appeared to be wires and red cylinders. Whether it was real or not, no one dared test it. The plane continued to Seattle, circling in the sky as authorities scrambled to gather the ransom. Passengers were told there was a minor mechanical issue. Most had no idea they were part of one of the most infamous crimes in American history. When the plane landed, Cooper remained calm. He released all 36 passengers once his demands were met. The money was handed over in a backpack. The parachutes were delivered. And just like that, the situation shifted. Now it wasn't a hijacking. It was an escape. Cooper ordered the plane to take off again, this time headed toward Mexico City. But his instructions were precise. Fly low. Keep the speed under 200 knots. Lower the landing gear. And keep the cabin unpressurized. Conditions that would allow someone to jump and possibly survive. Somewhere over the dense, dark forests of Washington state, Cooper made his move. He tied the money to himself. He put on one of the parachutes. Then, without warning, he opened the rear staircase of the plane. A rush of freezing air filled the cabin. And at approximately 8:13 p.m., D.B. Cooper jumped. Into a storm. Into darkness. Into history. The cold case clues what happened next is where the mystery deepens. The plane landed safely. The crew survived. But Cooper was gone. Vanished. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. They searched miles of rugged terrain. Forests. Rivers. Mountains. Nothing. No parachute. No body. No trace. But there were clues. On the plane, investigators found Cooper's black clip-on tie. It would later become one of the most important pieces of evidence. They dusted for fingerprints. Some partial prints were recovered, but none led to a confirmed identity. Then came the ransom money. Every bill had been recorded. Years passed with no sign, until 1980. A young boy named Brian Ingram was digging in the sand along the Columbia River when he uncovered something strange. Bundles of cash. Rotting. Buried. Still wrapped in rubber bands. It was part of the ransom money. Nearly $6,000. But here's the question that still haunts investigators. How did the money get there? The location didn't match the original search zone. It didn't match the wind patterns. It didn't match anything. And yet, there it was. A silent reminder that Cooper had been real. And that something had happened after the jump. Something no one could explain. Before we go deeper into the theories, if you're fascinated by mysteries that refuse to be solved, take a second to like this video, subscribe to Shadow Files, and share this with someone who loves unsolved cases. Because what comes next might change the way you see this story forever. The theories. Theory 1. The professional who escaped. Some believe D.B. Cooper was no amateur. His knowledge of aviation was too precise. His calm demeanor under pressure suggested experience. Maybe military. Maybe a skydiver. Maybe both. Supporters of this theory believe Cooper landed safely, navigated the terrain, and disappeared into a new life. After all, no body was ever found. No parachute. No clothing. Nothing. And the money? It was never spent, at least not in a way that could be traced. Which raises the possibility he didn't need it. Or he hid it. Or he simply walked away from everything. Theory 2. The fatal jump. Others argue the opposite. That Cooper never stood a chance. The conditions that night were brutal. Freezing temperatures. Heavy rain. Strong winds. Pitch darkness. He jumped without proper gear. No helmet. No clear landing zone. And possibly with a non-functional parachute, since he chose one of the training chutes by mistake. If that's true, then Cooper likely died shortly after the jump. His body lost somewhere in the vast wilderness. Never recovered. And the money found years later? Perhaps carried by the river, or buried over time by natural forces. A grim ending to a daring crime. Theory 3. The inside job. Then there's a darker possibility. What if Cooper had help? What if someone on the inside provided information? Some investigators have suggested that his knowledge of the aircraft wasn't just learned, it was insider level. Was he connected to the airline? To aviation crews? To someone who knew exactly how to make this plan work? And if so, was the escape part of something bigger? A coordinated effort that was never uncovered? Theory 4. The man who never existed. And finally, the most unsettling theory of all. What if D.B. Cooper wasn't real? Not in the way we think. The name itself was a mistake, created by a media error. No confirmed identity has ever been tied to the crime. Dozens of suspects have been investigated. All ruled out. What if Cooper was a ghost in plain sight? A man who slipped through every system. No past. No future. Just one perfect crime, and then nothing. The truth is, we may never know what happened after that jump. But the mystery of D.B. Cooper continues to captivate the world because it challenges something we rarely question, that every crime has an ending. That every story has a resolution. This one doesn't. And maybe that's what makes it unforgettable. So what do you think? Did D.B. Cooper survive and vanish into a new life? Or is he still out there, hidden somewhere in the past, waiting to be discovered? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the world's darkest unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe to Shadow Files, and share this video. Because the next story might be even more chilling. And just like this one, it might never be solved.